So welcome, everyone. So good to have you with us. Before we get started, I just want to acknowledge that we're meeting on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the First Nations and Native American peoples. So in this house, I'm on the land of the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish nations. But I know many of you are on the land of other nations. So if you'd like, please feel free to write those nation names in the chat now. And always, let's remember our connection to our siblings in these nations. And let's pray for the day in which we might all be together in right relationship. So welcome. Welcome to Living Interfaith. Know that the whole of you is welcome. You're not asked to leave who you are in your own homes. Instead, please bring who you are in with you. But what you are asked to remember is that everyone around you has brought who they are in with them as well. And all of goodwill are welcome. And now Bruce and Cheryl are going to open with a song. Beautiful. Thank you so much. So I have some announcements for us. So the first announcement is very exciting, which is that Harold Rosen, our wonderful interfaith educator who's with us today, thank you, Harold, is going to be offering a justice series. So it's Justice, Exploring Its Global Development. It'll be over the course of 8 Saturday mornings. So, we meet on Saturdays, but we only meet 2 Saturdays every month, the 1st and the 3rd. So many of those Saturdays over the course of the next several months, at the same time when we usually meet, Harold will be offering this justice series. So we're going to explore how humanity's concepts have evolved or not about justice during the sessions. So the first session will be next Saturday, November 9th. That'll be the introduction. Then the following week, we'll have our regular service. Then the next week after that, November 23rd, it'll be about Indigenous and ancient concepts. Then in December, South and East Asian concepts, January, Middle Eastern concepts, Western concepts, in February, international law, and later Baha'i concepts. And it'll end March 8th, global and future concepts. So I'm going to put the schedule in the chat, and then I'll put the registration page in the chat. So you can sign up. The cost is anywhere from $0 to $100. It just depends on your need and what you can offer. But we're so grateful to Harold for offering this. And so if you'd like to sign up, you can let us know by email at livinginterfaithsanctuary@gmail.com, or you can sign up on that page. And we're really looking forward to that. So thank you, Harold. Also, later this month on November 14th, I've been organizing a big event. It's going to be the Peace Train kickoff event, and also at the same time, the Multi-Faith Calendar launch event. So we're going to have a dinner for peace in Vancouver at the Center for Peace. It'll be on Thursday, November 14th from 6 to 9 p.m. It's free. It's open to everybody. We're going to have Ukrainian borscht soup and Palestinian lentil soup, and music and several speakers from different faith traditions. And also you'll get to meet the organizers of the Peace Train, which leaves the next day, as well as hearing from one of the artists of the Multi-Faith Calendar and the Multi-Faith group. So I'll put the registration page in the chat for that. It is free. We're just having folks register so we know how much soup to make. Or you can let me know if you're going to come. So that should be really fun. And finally, on Saturday, November 16th, from 8 to 10 a.m., there's going to be a community prayer breakfast that'll be at the John Vulcan Academy in Surrey. You can join interfaith speakers and participants to learn about renewing humanity's bond with nature. So it costs $25 for a ticket, which includes a buffet breakfast program and small group discussion. And if you're interested in that, you can register for that here. And so those are my announcements. How about all of you? Anything else to announce? Okay, well, if not, let's come into silence and we'll do our opening prayer. Thou seest, O my Lord, my dwelling place in the heart of this mountain, and thou dost witness my forbearance. Verily, I have desired naught else but thy love, and the love of those who love thee. How can I extol the effulgent beauty of thy lordship, conscious as I am of my nothingness before the habitation of thy glory? Yet the sorrow of solitude and loneliness prompteth me to invoke thee through this prayer. Perchance thy trusted servants may become aware of my lamentations, may supplicate unto thee on my behalf, and thou wouldst graciously answer their prayers as a token of thy grace and thy favor. I bear witness that there is no God but thee, inasmuch as thou art invested with sovereignty, grandeur, glory, and power, which no one among servants can visualize or comprehend. Indeed, thou shalt, by virtue of that which is inherent in thy essence, ever remain inscrutable unto all except thyself. Now I think Dorlee has a prayer for us.
Yes, I'm going to share a prayer and poem that's written by our friend Parvane, who joins us here and the community from time to time. I'm going to mute myself. Here we go.
Color of love. Is my color white or yellow, green, blue or purple? Am I light or shadow? In the yellow deserts of imagination, towards which green destination am I walking? To which city am I traveling? Where is my home? Where is my appointment? Who is it with? Has it expired? Small butterflies flap in my heart. They tell me of my appointment with the fire of love, of my destination, the city of sacrifice. Old stories say butterflies love candle. They get too close to fire, burn their wings. They burn and burn and burn until rainbow colors merge into one color, the color of love.
It's so beautiful. Thank you, Dorlee. And many thanks to Parvane for sharing that with us. And now feel free to unmute and we can offer one another a sign of peace. Peace, everyone. So wonderful being with you today.
Allah, everyone.
Peace to you.
Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Allahu Abha.
Peace, everyone.
Peace be with you.
Peace and comfort.
Peace, everyone.
Yes.
Peace, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you.
To all of you. Yes.
Thank you. And when you're ready, Bruce and Cheryl have another song for It's so beautiful. Thank you so much. And now if you join me in our joint affirmation, we come together in peace. We sing together in joy and with love. We worship together in one house, a house with names beyond number. Our paths are many, our beliefs are as leaves, and the tree that we cleave to is nourished by the light of compassion, justice, and mutual respect. May our lives, our beliefs, and our actions help to bring about the world of love we all seek, and let it begin here. And now we've added a couple elements to our service. And so for this first part, we're going to take just a few moments to meditate together. So I don't know how you're sitting, but if you can, relax your muscles. If it's appropriate, put your feet flat on the floor. Take a few deep breaths. You can close your eyes or just look down slightly in front of your nose. Just breathe into your belly. Notice where your breath is going. If it usually goes into your chest, send it down further to ground yourself into your chair, your couch. We'll take just a few breaths here. Relax your muscles. Notice where you're feeling some tension. It's around your temples. Try to release the pressure in your head. You can move your jaw around. Release any tension you carry there. Breathe into your neck and into your shoulders. Notice if you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world there. You can move them a little bit and then relax them down. You can breathe into your back. If you feel pain in your back, try to bring some energy there. See if you can relax and send some love there if you do feel pain or stiffness. Then notice what it feels like where you're sitting. If your hips feel tight, if you can feel the chair below you. If your knees are stiff or open, you can roll your ankles a little bit. And stretch out your feet and toes and hear your toes crack. And release any pressure there. Put your feet on the floor. Just feel yourself being held by the earth, held by the roots below you, all the little beings that live in the dirt beneath your feet. And feel your connection to them. And think about how all of us are connected, this big, beautiful planet. Feel your connection to all the other beings around you and the others here in this circle. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Now we're going to take some time to pray. You can pray in your own homes and in your own ways. And as always, feel free to pray for any people or places or causes that are heavy on your hearts today. Anywhere you especially want to send love. We'll take a few moments now just to pray together in silence. Thank you. And when they're ready, Bruce and Cheryl have another song for us. Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much, Bruce and Cheryl. So we've added a new element to our services, which Dan Malik helpfully called Interfaith in the World. And it came from a conversation he and I had where I said, you know, I love our gatherings, but I hope this isn't the only interfaith thing in folks' lives. I hope they also notice other places where people are kind of coming together or reaching out, or they're interested in, like, maybe I'll go to a different faith community, or I'll befriend someone from a different faith community or something like that. And so now I kind of open it up. If anyone wants to share anything that they've noticed about interfaith in the world recently in the last couple of weeks that you've been doing, that you're happy about, that you're sad about, that you've noticed, I can share. I've been setting up the Peace Train kickoff event and the Multi-Faith Action Society kickoff event, multi-faith calendar event. And it's so great getting to contact a bunch of leaders in the community and say, do you care about peace? Do you want to speak about your faith traditions at this peace event? And every faith has peace as one of the things that they want to promote, and practices that they, you know, that help cultivate that. So that's been really fun planning that. But I wonder if anyone else has noticed interfaith in some way in their lives in the last couple of weeks.
There's a woman an Iranian woman who actually comes from Brazil, and she is in Surrey. So she and her husband every Sunday night invite people into their home to say prayers, and then her husband cooks ash, which is like a thick Persian soup, and they have salad, and people bring, there's a bit of potluck. But the people that come there are from Brazil, from Venezuela, from Iran, from all over the world. And they just come and say prayers together. So there's, Buddhists, Christians, Baha'is, Muslims. It's just so wonderful. And it's pretty well every Sunday night. And then there's a simple meal afterwards. So they also are part of something at Colibri, which is Wally Road and 100s. It's in a strip mall. It's a community center where they do English Corner. So people who are learning to speak English can go there every Thursday night at 6:30 and practice their English. So and those are some of the folks that come to the devotional on Sunday night. So just amazing.
I don't know if this counts as interfaith in the world, but it's always interesting here around Halloween time because in Vancouver, there's a tradition of people setting off fireworks. And then a couple years ago, that was no longer allowed. But this year, and I understand why, because there's, like it's a kids, primarily a kids kind of celebration. And, there's kids that are scared of fireworks and you don't want to, have stuff that's scaring the kids when they're out trick-or-treating. But it also this year coincided with Diwali. And so there were fireworks being set off, and it's just kind of interesting, the two fall fairly close to each other, but this year they exactly coincided. And so there were some fireworks, not as many as there used to be, but yeah, I liked seeing that. So.
I had an interesting moment. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
I had an interesting moment where I go to Quaker meeting every once in a while, and we were talking about cleaning up the meeting house because there's been more kids coming. But I was confused because we don't have any kids that come to the meeting. And apparently there's been a Jewish group that's been regularly using the meeting house on Saturdays that has kids that attend, and so that's why. And I just thought that was interesting. And then I also volunteer at Spartacus Books, which is a collectively run bookstore on Commercial Drive in Vancouver. And what I mentioned to one of the people I volunteer with that I go to the Quaker Meeting House, and they were like, "Oh, that's so funny because my Jewish group has been going to the Quaker Meeting House on Saturdays." And I was like, "Oh, it's you." You're the group that's there. So just a funny little coincidence.
Actually, I think I know one of the people from there, and she described herself as a Boo-Jew Q, because she's a Buddhist Jewish Quaker. And I love the Boo Jews, the Buddhist Jewish, but I never met a Q as well. So I thought that was very cool. I love it, like collect them all. That's so cool.
I had a chance this week to bring my interfaith into my world. My wife and I drove 7 hours to visit where we grew up, where my brother lives. We spent several days with my brother. He is a wonderful person. I love him dearly. He's a very devout Christian and wanted to understand what interfaith was about, what it is that we do, what it is that we believe. And then he tried to see if he could fit himself into a interfaith structure. And he got to a point where he said, I can't get all the way to accepting other religions as equally right. He said, I was raised, and I was raised just like him, believe that there's one path to God, Jesus. And a religion that doesn't embrace Jesus as the savior of our sins just falls short in his mind. And it's not that he criticized others for not believing that, but he would be very inclined to talk to others about the importance of believing that. It was just an interesting experience because he is as smart, loving, and caring as any person I know, and he couldn't quite get on the interfaith bandwagon. It was interesting.
Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing friends. Now I will put our donation page in the chat for folks who do really value this community. And so many of you support us in so many ways with your volunteer hours, financially, with your fantastic musical contributions and all your skills. Poor Dorley has been our president like our entire time, because no one else wanted to be the president. And so she's helped co-lead this community this whole time. And I'm just so grateful. So thank you to all that you do to support interfaith. And I love seeing where it shows up in the world. And for folks where it doesn't resonate with them, that's okay too. You know, we all have our different paths. So thank you for sharing. And Bruce and Cheryl have another song for us at this time.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Bruce and Cheryl. So now it's my joy and honor to turn it over to John Luthy. So John resides in Rowena, Oregon, and is a member of the Baha'i Faith. He currently serves on the local spiritual assembly, which is the administrative body of the Baha'i Faith. And wherever he's lived through family, children's classes, youth groups, camps, study groups, devotionals, and engagement in the community, he's done his best to promote the essential Baha'i principle of the oneness of humanity. John is active in the Gorge Ecumenical Ministries, as well as organizations in his area that work to promote racial harmony, justice, and environmental issues. So when you're ready, over to you, John.
You just need to unmute when you get a chance to, Dad.
All right, you're unmuted. It hasn't.
Awesome.
Oh, there you go. Looks like that's come up for you.
All right. I'm trying to sort out how to get to my PowerPoint. Should be here.
If you have any trouble with it, you can always email it to me and I can show it while you're speaking, if that's easier for you.
Yeah. It looks like right now PowerPoint is not open, so you may want to open it from the start menu and then, because it looks like you're sharing your entire desktop, not a specific application.
Okay, I'm going to stop share and then see if I can get to the PowerPoint. Well, what it's going to talk about while I'm working on this is the twin holy birthdays, which is, this is low system may affect your audio quality. Okay. I've got a big screen here. Um,
Okay, so we see the welcome to Microsoft 365. If you open the PowerPoint there, then we should be able to see it.
oh, okay, let's see. And let's create.
There you go. That's looking promising.
All right. Oh, okay. Let's see if
There
that
you go.
gets me.
Perfect. That should work. Yeah, if you just double click on that, that should work.
Mm. Okay.
Dad, while you try to get that open, I could play that video that Mom wanted to share as well. Would you like that while you try to get it open in the background?
Really, I think that's a good idea if you
Yeah.
want to do that now. And
Okay.
and then John, just try if you try to open that in the background while Dorley plays this. I think that sounds good.
Yeah, could you stop sharing for a minute and I'll play the video that
Yes,
Mom's.
I'm hearing vibration at this point.
Okay.
Uh, hmm.
Was it not opening? Because it looked like it was right there.
All right. I'll go ahead and share the video that Annette wanted to also have us
Okay.
hear alongside while Dad looks for that presentation. Okay.
Excellent. Oh. I think you want to rewind it. Okay, yeah.
Gather all people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree. people beneath the shadow of thy bounty, and to cause them to unite in harmony, so that they may become as the rays of one sun, as the waves of one ocean, and as the fruit of one tree.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Dorley.
Yeah.
All right. John, are you all set?
Uh,
If not, can you just email it to me?
I'm sorry. I was coughing. No, I still haven't figured out what my problem is in terms of getting to the program.
That's okay. Do you want to just
Let's
talk
try
about
it
it? I
here.
just want to be mindful of time because it's a little after 11. Do you just want to talk about the Twin Holy Days?
Yes, I wanted to say thank you, Kathy, for sharing the prayer of the Báb. But in the beginning, I recognized while you were reading it that was his prayer. One of his prayers was
Oh, and can you just stop your screen sharing and then you can just talk?
oh yes, okay. Is that better?
No, it's still sharing.
It's still, oh, stop share. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Here, I'll just spotlight you. And yeah, if you want to share about it with us. Thank you.
Yes, yes. I was saying that you shared a prayer of the Báb at the beginning of our meeting. I don't know if anyone recognized it, but I did. There was Susan saying yes. So these two wonderful authors of wrote. The Báb wrote and during his ministry for 6 years, or about 6 years anyway. And then Baha'u'lláh wrote for over close to 40 years. And their styles are they're different, but there's no question that their devotion to God is what drives them. And the Báb's mission was pretty short. There's a lot of change in the world during his lifetime. But he said during the time that he was writing that he was the first to believe in one who was yet to come, and that he said that even though he had a revelation of his own, that his purpose was to prepare others for that one whom God shall make manifest. And so he taught the oneness of religion in a time when and in a country that had become very protracted in terms of you had to be a part of the congregation, or you weren't regarded in a very high light. I know this is going along different ways, but during Baha'u'llah's ministry, he said we should be celebrating the writings of the Báb and also his birthday, and that he said that our birthdays are 2 years and 1 day apart, and they are the twin birthdays, the twin holy birthdays, and should be celebrated as one event. So that for each local Baha'i community, that it's up to the community to arrange, and we don't have I guess you would call it a set form of worship. So we say prayers and get together. Some people bake cakes and others have meals together, and we celebrate these two birthdays. And the unique thing about it is that in 2015, that would be, I don't even know how many years, it's probably close to 100 years, where the people in the West celebrated the birth of the Báb and the birth of Baha'u'lláh as being about 2.5 weeks apart. It was because we were under a Gregorian calendar in the West, and the people in the East, or in the Middle East, were under a lunar calendar, which made the 2 days right next to each other. So in 2015, our Universal House of Justice, which is the ruling body for it, the decision maker in in the community said, okay, this is how we're going to do it, and combined the lunar calendar and the Gregorian calendar, or the solar calendar. And so the birth of the Báb and the birth of Bahá'u'lláh are celebrated on consecutive days, but the days jump around in October and November, depending upon when the first moon, or I think it's the 8th moon after Nowruz, or New Year's. So it's a little complex, but for Baha'is, we try and figure those things out. So right. So I was going to share some of the writings of Baha'u'lláh, and to talk about the Báb and Bahá'u'lláh as being manifestations of God. I think that to understand the manifestations of God are they're not God, but they're as close to being perfect human beings that we have, and that they come from time to time to bring about a greater cause of unity and prosperity in the world. And so we've seen changes in particular through the manifestations of God, which we regard from all the way from Adam through Abraham, through Buddha, through Zoroaster, to Moses, to Jesus, through Muhammad, and then the two most recent manifestations are the Báb and Bahá'u'lláh, and that they've said we're entering a new time and a new prosperity for human beings, and that unity is now possible at a level that's never existed before. Now that this world has changed so much, and in their time it was just beginning to change, and where kings, there were so many absolute kings that were existing in the world, and now they're a rarity. But that we have more and more consultative bodies that run governments, and that we have an international body that's consultative, that's working on making the world a better place. And as Baha'is, we have a lot of joy in recognizing that. So there are a number of tools that Baha'is believe that Baha'u'lláh and the Báb brought, and a part of it is learning how to consult together and cooperate and accompany one another in terms of learning new things. And I think that there, well, I've talked a little bit about the birth of the Báb and birth of Bahá'u'lláh, but really it's the recognition that that's their beginning days, rather than anything in particular that happened. There was no, heaven didn't open up and angels come down or anything like that. That didn't happen. So they were raised as Muslim. The Báb declared his mission, and sent one of his early believers with a message to Tehran to be delivered to a spiritual person that he was to determine. And that person went there and started asking, who's this most spiritual person that you know? And they said, oh, well, I know who that is. That's Baha'u'lláh. So he took the message from the Báb to Baha'u'lláh, and Baha'u'lláh opened the message and read it and went, this is indeed of God, and I declare my belief. So Baha'u'lláh became a Babi, a follower of the Báb, and continued to be a follower of the Báb for 19 years until he declared his own mission in Baghdad. So, but that's kind of hopping around. You have to. The best thing would be to pick up a book and read a bit about the faith, and every Baha'i is different in terms of what they present. So we're all teachers, or we're all presenters, I guess, in terms of that. And I'll try and figure out how to get the slides working for a future meeting, or sometime when Kathy can put it on for us.
Oh, it's no problem at all, John. Thank you so much. Really appreciate hearing your reflections on this. And yes, Dorley says, happy Twin Holy Days.
Yes.
Thank you. I believe Bruce and Cheryl have one more song for us. I'll do a closing prayer. Yes, so when you're ready, Bruce and Cheryl.
I am the primal source from which I've been generated all created things. I am the primal point from which I've been generated all created things. I am the countenance of God. Of God, I am the light.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Bruce and Cheryl. And friends, as we go forward, big happy birthdays to the Báb and Bahá'u'lláh. May their vision for the world come to fruition, that we may all come together, that we might have peace and unity and connection and see the light of God in all beings. May it be so.